Tuesday. I'm really looking just spending a couple of minutes with you. What an interesting time we're in right now. And it just feels like it keeps going on. And I've been thinking quite a lot about, as Christians, how not only our response should be to this time, but how actually as a new normal approaches, what this would mean for our lives. And a lot of that's driven me to really begin to think about faith and the role of faith in our lives. I read this interesting quote by a guy called Frank Matabo, who said, "Don't accept anything anyone is saying when they say it's your fate, because your fate is actually determined by your faith, your knowledge, and your understanding." And the more I thought about that quote, I was kind of driven to go and re-look at the story in Mark 5. I don't know if you've ever read it, with Jairus' daughter who gets ill, and he goes seeking Jesus, and he's looking for Jesus to come and make him better. And so he says to Jesus, "Can you come back with me, and can you heal my daughter?" And Jesus agrees, and they go on this journey, and a couple of things unfold in the story. If you haven't read it, go and read Mark 5. It's a great story. And in the midst of this, we see that towards the back end of the story, around verse 35 or so, the servants of Jairus come to him, and they say to him, "Look, your daughter's died. Don't bother the teacher anymore." And I love what it says in Mark 5:36. Listen to this. Overhearing what they said, Jesus told him, "Don't be afraid, just believe." Don't be afraid, just believe. So often I think we live our lives like we're a product of fate and not faith. And at times we call something faith when it's actually fate. And I've really been thinking about this and thinking about some 4 distinctions that show we're a people of faith and not a people of fate. Faith lets us move into the impossible, while fate means we're bound to whatever we find ourselves in. The first thing is this: faith produces action. Fate produces inaction. We have a faith that drives us to be a proactive people who go out and do things because we know that the reality we see right now isn't the reality that can be. We're driven to go and try something new. I think this is what Jesus was getting at in Mark 5 when he says to him, "Don't be afraid, just believe." What they're saying in your ear is one thing, but actually just have the faith to live out a different reality. But fate often causes us to have inactivity, to be passive, to not be people who do anything or set out to do anything. And I think sometimes we guise that in going, "I'm just waiting on Jesus, I'm just waiting on God, I want to see what he does." But actually what we're really saying is I'm just taking a chance, I'm a product of fate, and let's just see what works out. When faith says, no, the reality I see. Faith risks, while fate resists. This is so clear when the servants come and say to him, "You know what? Stop bothering the teacher." Fate always pushes us to resist any real change that could come. But what's interesting is that faith goes, "No, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to take a risk to push forward and to move forward." Here's the third thing. Faith transforms while fate conforms. I love this. Faith transforms us, it changes us, it causes us to see something new, something different, a different possibility. Well, fate tells us to conform to what we see happening around us. Our lives can be so much bigger and better than what we're in, but it's an act of faith to move beyond what we find ourselves in. Fate drives us to conform to that. And here's the 4th thing. Faith changes our tomorrow, while fate keeps our today an ongoing reality. Fate changes our tomorrow. Faith changes our tomorrow, while fate keeps our today an ongoing reality. You see, when you have faith and you step out in faith, it changes your tomorrow. You may be going, "I'm not living the life that I really want to live. I'm not living the life that I think I'm built and designed for. I think my life could be so much more, so much better." And when we come out the back end of this lockdown and we move into a new normal, will you let fate determine whether there's change or not, carrying on in the same way? Or will you let your faith drive you to take risk and to be transformed? John Maxwell says this: "Tenacious people don't rely on luck, fate, or destiny for their success. And when conditions become difficult, they keep working." I love that. They keep going on. So I wonder, can you have a new faith to come out at the end of the season going, my life is better. I've made the changes I need to change. I've aligned where I'm moving to with where God wants me to go to. Or will you end up just going, I'm a product of fate, and see what happens? We miss you guys. We love you guys. We're praying for you guys. We can't wait to be back in the same room with you guys. I really hope this has worked, because I had a lot of stuff coming up saying not connected, and now I think it is connected. I really don't know. So hopefully this has all worked out. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Keep checking out the Sunny Hill website. Keep checking Facebook, and you'll begin to see all of the great things that I've got going on. I know I saw that tomorrow Dom and Lou are doing a special forethought where they're looking at the values in their home. I'd encourage you to go ahead and connect with that and listen to it. Other than that, look forward to seeing you guys